Hey, what's up, church leaders, pastors, shepherds? Just some thoughts for just for something you consider. Discipleship is about making disciples, training them to be disciples, obviously, but also themselves go make disciples. And so, basically, those that we lead, those that we shepherd, our goal is to get them to a place where they can feed themselves, so they're less reliant on us to feed them, but they learn to feed themselves. And ultimately, they're feeding others and training them to feed others. That's sort of discipleship 101. So, in essence, in the long run, the less people need us, the better we're doing our job. And I heard a pastor say at one time that our goal as pastors is to work ourselves out of a job, in the sense of who we're leading and who we're pouring into. Now, this kind of goes against our, I believe there's this tendency within our human nature, even those of us who are leaders, we kind of want people to need us in a lot of ways. It's this narcissistic, and I'm talking to myself here. I'm preaching to myself here. There's this tendency that we have to be careful about, that we don't want people to depend on us to the point to where we're not willing to let them take steps and sort of spread their wings and fly a little bit. Literally, our calling as pastors is to train those that we pour into to be able to do that. But it's kind of hard sometimes when you get to a place where you feel like, wow, they really don't need me. They're doing really good. And it kind of hurts a little bit. But then you're kind of like, but that's my job. That's literally, that's a compliment to your leadership when someone gets to that place. Now, obviously, we'll still be available to those that we lead, always be available until, I'm available to those that I have pastored and led until I breathe my last breath. I believe when Paul wrote his final letters to Timothy, he knew his time was short, and that's why he wrote Timothy those letters, because Timothy was still young, and he was like, hey, man, my time's short. I want to prepare you as best as I can. So they're always available, but don't get so caught up in your own self. And I believe it's an ego thing where you kind of are like, you want people to need you to where you're kind of standing in the way of them being able to step out. We need to empower people, lead people, encourage people to step out to a place to where they can feed themselves. They're self-sufficient. They're only depending on the Lord. Let's say it that way. And not necessarily having to have you as much. So not that we just say, okay, you're on your own, dude, but we want them to need us less and less to where they can lead others, but you're still available at the same time. So just some things. As a pastor, have you dealt with this? Have you kind of wrestled with this? Have you kind of had to address your own feelings and measure them against Scripture to say, I feel this way, but I shouldn't be feeling this way? I don't know. Leave me some comments. Let me know as a pastor, as a leader, just as a leader in general, maybe not even a pastor. Have you dealt with this in some way? I'd love to hear your experience. You guys have a good day.